to meet you in person. So I read your, not all books, but I read some books. The age group you target is, of course, the different one, the younger one. Though I am quite young by heart, Facebook पे age वाला app आता है, तो उसमें 19 years आया था मेरा. So I like reading his books. The very first thing about your latest novel. So I always heard happily ever after. Yeah. But why happily never after? So the latest book is happily never after. So why is happily never after?
When this thought came, first of all, thank you so much for coming here. And it's my first event also after this long pandemic. So it feels good, back to normal. So yeah, coming to the question, happily never after, when this thought came in the mind, it was like I wanted to write about one-sided relationships. And we have seen these relationships glorified in Bollywood movies. मतलब जहाँ पे बोला जाता है कि एक तरफा प्यार की ताकत ये वो सब चीजें मैं सब सारी चीजें समझता हूँ बट जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है उसका क्या है and when you love someone then you obviously want that other person to share the same warmth with you. It cannot be that, yeah, I love, but I don't care whether the other person doesn't love. It hurts. And I wanted to talk about it in a very factual way. So the main protagonist of the book over here is in love with her colleague, and he's already in a committed relationship. So that's how the book title came in, like Happily Never After. And I felt that there cannot be a better title than this. Obviously, people will know that it's about one sided relationships. How is it going to end? The title reveals much more than it should have. But I felt that I should give it out in open that yes, it is about one sided relationships. And like I said, that I wanted to talk about this thing because though I myself have not faced that situation, but then I've seen my friends. And what happens in such situations is it's okay that you are in one sided relationship, but if you don't draw that thin line, then it becomes your obsession. And when it becomes your obsession, then your professional, your personal life gets hampered. And that's where each and everyone who loves someone but then doesn't get that love should understand that it's okay to move on. I know that it takes time to move on, but then still, that is the only option you have. And that is how the title came in, the concept came in. And after writing, like, this is my 15th book. I've written 2 thrillers, but then the rest 13 have been love stories. And after writing 13 love stories, I was like, "Kya naya kya likhe?" Because to be very frank, for all of you who have been reading romance, you guys already know what's the story there, right? Matlab, I cannot create more suspense in it. Either, I've said it many times that either लड़का लड़की की शादी होगी या लड़का लड़की का ब्रेकअप होगा या लड़का मर जाएगा या लड़की मर जाएगी इसके अलावा क्लाइमैक्स नहीं हो सकता है रोमांस बुक का that is how it is but then it's all about the emotions that you portray through the entire journey of the characters and that's where I realized that I have talked about various topics but then this is something that I have not written about and that's where I thought that I should give it a try.
So one-sided relationship it actually hurts. है कि नहीं? दुखता है, बहुत दर्द होता है यार. वो दो चीजें हो जाती हैं. I remember 2 movies. One was Dar Shahrukh Khan. Yeah. तू है मेरी किरण. And other one was this कुछ होता रहा तुम नहीं समझोगे. So that pain he is portraying in that his books. You started writing in 2011.
Yes.
11 से 21, 10 years. So in this time, हम लोग बड़े हो रहे हैं, romance has changed और जो सारा तरीका था सब कुछ change होता था. तो मैं इनसे और कुछ साल बड़ा हूँ. तो मेरे टाइम ये था कि वो मिस्ड कॉल 2 मिस्ड कॉल में फोन उठाना है और मम्मी ने फोन उठा लिया. मम्मी ने फोन उठा के कहा कि हाँ अपन मिलेंगे क्वालिटी कैफे पे मिलेंगे और वहाँ पे पापा आ गए. तो that used to happen. So romance has changed. Everything is changing. और अभी हो गया कि कई बार ये कहते हैं कि चाइनीज आइटम के होता है ना कि चले तो चांद तक नहीं चला तो शाम तक. So that was what WhatsApp पे अफेयर हो रहा है, WhatsApp पे ब्रेकअप हो रहा है, Facebook पे ब्रेकअप हो रहा है. How you are studying this now? You are also in college for a long time. तो इसके साथ चीजें चेंज होती जा रही हैं. This generation is changing every day. The way they communicate to their partners, सब कुछ चेंज होता जा रहा है. The slangs they are using, वो सारी चीजें चेंज होती जा रही हैं. How you actually study and understand so that they can still connect with those stories.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, उस रीजन की वजह से ही रिलेशनशिप्स आज इतने कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. लाइक यू मेंशन कि मिस कॉल में काम हो जाता था, लेकिन मिस कॉल जो लैंडलाइन में जब कॉलर आईडी आने लगे तब दिक्कतें स्टार्ट हुई. अदरवाइज उससे पहले तो जितने चाहिए मिस कॉल दे सकते थे आप. So that was the situation, and I feel lucky that I have seen all these cases. मेरे टाइम पे जब मैं कॉलेज में था तब there was no WhatsApp, there was no Facebook. I had to type a message in 160 characters, not be able to relate with it. और उसके ऊपर जाता था तो मल्टीमीडिया मैसेज हो जाता था, तब तो वो जाएगा ही. तो मतलब अभी क्या होता है कि तुम्हारा झगड़ा हो गया तो तुम जितने चाहिए मैसेजेस धड़ाधड़ भेज सकते हो, लेकिन तब तो वो मैसेजेस की 500 ही फ्री थे, उसके ऊपर वो भी नहीं भेज सकते हो. और जितनी भड़ास निकालनी है वो 160 कैरेक्टर में ही निकालनी है, उससे ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता. And now you can write the lengthy essays and whatever you want to do, you can do. But then you see, that was the time, and that's the reason I feel that these relationships have become complicated. I have seen people messaging me कि breakup हुआ है क्योंकि password share नहीं किया, breakup हुआ है. I've seen like crazy reasons, and I don't understand that how can you then live with that other person if you don't trust that person. So that is still, I feel, the most important aspect of relationship, that you need to gel with that person, and you need to have that bond. Otherwise, you cannot just keep on going and dragging a relationship. Like I said, like when I was in college, that was in 2005, जब मुझे लड़की से बात भी करनी पड़ती थी तो I had to face that person. और ब्रेकअप भी करना पड़ता था तो I had to face that person. It wasn't easy. And that's why maybe I feel that relationships were a little serious, because इतना easy होता नहीं था जितना आज easy है. ब्लॉक कर दो, मैटर इज क्लोज्ड, एंड कुछ करना पड़ता है नहीं उसके बाद. और वापस सब ठीक भी हो गया तो अनलॉक भी कर देते हैं लोग, तो इतना चीजें है. But that wasn't the case. You had to actually express your feelings. It wasn't just behind the screens. You were not able to hide behind the screens, and that is the major difference, I feel. But then कहीं ना कहीं मुझे ये भी लगता है, like whenever I interact with these youngsters, I feel that they also look for these serious relationships only. The only thing that makes them insecure is because of the social pressure that is around them. जो सिंगल है उनको रिलेशनशिप का प्रेशर है, जो रिलेशनशिप में है उनको सिंगल्स का प्रेशर है कि सिंगल्स एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, रिलेशनशिप वालों को लगता है वो एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, उनको लगता है ये एंजॉय कर रहे हैं. और वो एंड दे आर जस्ट कॉट अप बिटवीन ऑल दीज फैक्टर्स, यू नो. मतलब द सिचुएशन इज सच. और मेरे घर में भी कोई अलग चीज नहीं है. नाउअडेज even if you order food at a restaurant, you have to first click the photograph and then upload it on Instagram. भूख कितनी भी लगे, लेकिन जब तक वो सही फोटोग्राफ नहीं आएगा, you cannot eat it. So you see, the priorities are changing these days in such a way, and everything that you are doing in your life is going social. And that's where I feel kahin na kahin you need to have that personal space in your relationship if you want to get out of that complicated zone.
So talking about personal relationship, एक चीज जहाँ बात करते हैं कि अभी जो है बड़ी जल्दी जल्दी ब्रेकअप होते हैं, but at the same time ये जनरेशन कंपैरेटिवली ज्यादा मैच्योर है due to the exposure which they are getting. So they're like more mature जो हम लोग उस एज ग्रुप में थे. ईगो जो है किसी भी रिलेशनशिप में बहुत बड़ा इशू रहा है. तो ये मेरा जो अपना एक्सपीरियंस है, टाइम का बहुत सारे ब्रेकअप सिर्फ ईगो की वजह से हुए, चाहे शादी के बाद भी. नॉट जस्ट अबाउट द रिलेशनशिप, इवन आफ्टर मैरिज जो ईगो है उस ईगो ने. How do you see this generation? How much the ego is still is it same like that in current time, or ये कुछ change हुआ है?
It's still there. So it's a human behavior. You cannot change that. But what I like about this generation is that they're very open about whatever they feel. कई बार ऐसा होता था कि when it was during my time, like I wanted to do something else in my life, but then I couldn't open up, and my parents were ready for that thing. But then these days, these people, these kids are very strong in whatever their gut feeling is, and they are mature enough to take that decision. You cannot take away that thing from them. No matter the relationships are complicated, but then, like I said, that is because of the exposure. And isn't it really great that you have those complicated relationships before marriage itself, rather than getting stuck in a relationship or in a marriage where you cannot do anything after that, or even if you want to do, then no matter we say that the generation is changing, the society is changing, but then you cannot change the fact that वो फिर अलग नजरिए से देखा जाता है when you break up and divorce. You can very well understand now how difficult that phase is. So I personally feel that it's always better to have these complicated relationships before marriage itself. There's no problem. It's like when I had my first breakup, उस टाइम पे मुझे भी यही लगा था कि अब इसके बाद तो मेरी कोई दुनिया है ही नहीं. And in that 2 years of 2 years phase where I was in that breakup phase और पूरा जो सब चल रहा था, I thought this is the end and there is nothing else now left in my life. But then life changed, situation changed, and it's all just about the time. You just need to give time to yourself and you need to love yourself again.
This is the best advice. So normally, actually, आपने से बहुत ज़्यादा फील किया होगा कि यार दुनिया खत्म ही हो गई है. इतना गंदा सब कुछ गंदा लगा होता है. I think कभी शायद करते हैं इसी से बहुत ज़्यादा इसी से की है. And in the discussion, I and Sudeep both used the term at our time. It doesn't mean that हम लोग strong age के हैं. I'm 19, he's 18. We are just using this so that
No,
you
then I
guys
don't take it seriously. These days, the generations are changing so fast. Like 5 साल बाद, there is new technology out there, and you will not be able to relate with it. Like I still nowadays, I see these people upload reels and so many things. मुझे एक reel बनाने में भी पहले 1 घंटा सोचना पड़ता है कि अब मैं क्या डालूँ और क्या करूँ इसमें. And then probably I'll then decide whether I make it public or not. And then I think like छोड़ दे जाने में क्या करना है.
मेरे 12 साल के बेटे ने कहा कि रील बनाइए एंड मैंने कहा यार क्या बनाऊंगा तो मेरे को उसने कहा आप जाओगे ना वेन्यू के अंदर उसका वीडियो बनाते चले जाना जस्ट यूज दैट सो आई डिड दैट आई ट्राइड सो योर फर्स्ट 2 books so that is based on golden. Normally, what anybody who's not from a literature background and people like us who are coming from different areas, writing book, कहीं ना कहीं वो story या तो हमारी life में होती है या हमारे आसपास की ही होती है. That is very much around us. In that case, how much a writer can be honest जब वो कैरेक्टर्स को क्रिएट करता है क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं स्टोरी का पार्ट है तो कितना ऑनेस्ट एक राइटर रहता है अपने कैरेक्टर को या अपने उस बेस्ट फ्रेंड के कैरेक्टर को क्रिएट करने में तो स्टोरी का पार्ट है. How much you are honest in that?
So see, I personally believe there is nothing called fiction in this world. Everything is inspired. और जब मैं अपनी first book लिख रहा था, तो obviously I was a little biased because I had to put in my side of the story. अगर आप जिस लड़की से मैं प्यार कर रहा था उसकी साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी सुनते तो वो शायद कुछ और होता. And that is how it will be. But then what I wanted to showcase through that book was life moves on, or that was the main message that I wanted to convey. होता है ऐसे कि मतलब when you write, you get a little biased with your favorite character, which you are probably like this is how I want to portray this character, and that's where that biasness comes in. But then it's completely fine. That is what I feel. Until it's not hampering your storyline. It shouldn't be like एक कैरेक्टर बस सब सही करता जा रहा है बिकॉज जिंदगी में ऐसा होता नहीं. एंड व्हेन I wrote my side of the story in few things left unsaid, I obviously wrote about the mistakes that I had committed at the same time. But the thing is, how writing helped me at that time was when I was in that relationship, उस time पे I never realized my mistakes. When I started writing my own story, that was a time when I started looking with the bigger picture from the perspective of other people also like yeah ये भी सोच हो सकती है. And that's when I realized yeah okay even I was wrong and I was in my teenage I can be reckless and that's completely fine. But then like I said वो phase ऐसा होता है उस time पे लगता है कि अब कुछ बचा नहीं है life में. But then the important thing at that time is you need that one person जिसके साथ आप सारी चीजें share करो so that you at least feel positive about the days that are ahead of you.
So, coming again to the characters and the writing. So, how much a writer, so partially you already answered that, how much a writer is inspired by the surroundings. Second thing is your characters. Mostly जो है वो जो नाम होते हैं उनका जो setup है that is always upper middle class. So I'm just adding this also to the question. नाम भी उनका ऐसा जैसे मेरे तो क्लासमेट थे सुनील, दिनेश, मुकेश, लड़कियां भी प्रियंका थी, गीता थी, इस तरह के नाम थे सारे. So the names are also very interesting. Kavya, Malvika, जो थोड़ा सा upper middle class में. So how much your surroundings actually impact your writing? Is it something because of your surroundings, or it is because your characters you're setting up in that area? So you're choosing the name accordingly.
No, it's not like that. It totally depends upon the storyline. Like recently, I wrote a second chance, जिसमें the girl's name is Disha because वो जरूरी है. And even all the names, if you will see in that book, are very common names that you see around us. But then कई बार ऐसे होता है कि you want to portray an image, and बहुत बार हम नाम से image बना लेते हैं. इस वजह से it is quite important to give the right names to those people. And if I have to tell you about my first book, like we were just discussing, तो मैंने जब पूरी मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट लिखी थी तो उसमें मैंने सुदीप ही लिखा था. बाद में जब मैंने वो खुद पढ़ी तो मुझे सुदीप नाम में वो रोमांस ही नहीं दिखा कि मैं ये कैसे रोमांस स्टोरी का मेन प्रोटैगनिस्ट सुदीप हो सकता है. मुझे खुद से वो फीलिंग ही नहीं आ रही.
पहला ब्रेकअप स्टिकर में तो नहीं हुआ, ये तुम्हारा नाम में रोमांस में दिख रहा है.
वो तो मुझे नहीं पता क्या सीन. So you see, so that's why I changed it to Aditya. And now what happened after that was I continued with this character of mine till almost 5 or 6 books. So till that time I had to continue it with this name Aditya. So that is how it is. So it totally depends upon the storyline. It's not like I decide the name first. It's not something like that. When I write the manuscript, उस टाइम पे सारे के सारे नाम अलग होते हैं. और when I read it again, that's where I then analyze कि नहीं, probably this name doesn't suit this character जो मैंने starting में सोचा था. Then I change it accordingly.
अरे ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग होता है. So in my novel there is a name of character called चंगेज खान. That is one. चंगेज खान सुन के आपको लगता होगा कोई बड़ा, लेकिन चंगेज खान जो है वो गांव के चौपाल पे बैठा हुआ हुक्का पीता हुआ 50 किलो का आदमी है. So the reason is, I think I will just add on to what he said. The kind of impression you want to give with that character, वहाँ पे वो नाम जाता है. Why I put this name? Because that character is quite funny. तो वो होने के साथ उसके नाम के साथ ही बड़ा खेल है. अच्छा, आप में से कितने लोग साथ ऐसा होता है कि आपका जो वो वायर जो है ना ईयरफोन का वो उलझ जाता है, वो सुलझता नहीं रहता है, टूट जाता है ना. So have you ever felt कि in his stories relationships are like that? That is complicated. Why is it? पर लगता है कि अच्छा अभी निकल जाएगा, अभी ठीक हो जाएगा, फिर उसके बाद जैसे ही उलझाओ तो कहीं और सुलझ जाता है. So it is why do you keep everything so complicated in your stories?
250 पेज लिखने में तो है. otherwise तो मैंने 10 पेज में खत्म हो जाएगी.
ये टिप मैं भी लेके जा रहा हूँ.
So that is how it is. That's the fun part of writing. कि इतना उसको complicated बना दो कि you yourself cannot see the way ahead कि अब इसको मैं कैसे ठीक करूं. And you see that is the fun part of even writing romance, because like I said, you know the beginning, you know the middle part of it, the body, and you know the climax. But then how you will make that love story interesting, how you will make the situations for these people complicated. That's where you define how your love story is. Because otherwise तो मतलब क्या है, कुछ है ही नहीं लिखने के लिए. बिकॉज कितने ऐसे मेरे को मैसेजेस भी आते हैं, सर मेरी स्टोरी लिखिए, मेरे पास भी एक लव स्टोरी है, मेरा भी रिसेंटली ब्रेकअप हुआ है. बट देन आई नो तुम्हारा ब्रेकअप हुआ है तो मैं बता सकता हूँ कि क्या होने वाली है वो स्टोरी, तो अभी उसमें अलग क्या लिखूं. So you see, after writing 14 love stories, that is the most challenging thing for me. That what different I'm going to write this time, and that's why I feel that you need such characters which have that depth. It cannot be just one-dimensional character. it has to be a gray character. It cannot be just good or bad. You need to have those shades because that is how life is. Sometimes you react in a very different manner, but then you think, when you think about it, then you realize कि नहीं मैं शायद ऐसे react नहीं करना चाहिए था. But after all, you do it because of the emotions that you have. So you see, that is how it is.
So let's say 14, 15 love stories. So are you planning to write something else, try another genre, or you will be the same?
It totally depends again. It's like the last book was romance, but then before that, couple of books were suspense thrillers. One was murder mystery, and even though if they are romance, I still feel you will not get that feel. I'll be very honest. You will not get that feel कि इसमें सिर्फ love story है. उसमें you will see the shades of life. उसमें you will see the society around you, because if I talk about, she's quite right into my heart. So I've written about LGBT characters in that. If I talk about our story needs no filter, then I have written about how students are manipulated in colleges. Then if I talk about she friend zone my love, then it talks about that friend zoning aspect, but at the same time, it also highlights the different side of the society. So you see that even if they are love stories, I still feel they resemble the today's society and today's generation. And if it's coming out of love story, then I feel it's great because that is something that everybody can relate with. Like I said, मर्डर मिस्ट्री मुझे अगर लिखनी है तो आई नो कि उसका एक प्लॉट है जो लिमिटेड है. आई कैन नॉट ऐड वेरिएशंस टू इट. आई कैन नॉट ऐड too many life emotions to it. But with romance, you have that wider image. You have this huge canvas जिसमें आप जो चाहिए experiment कर सकते हो. So that's why I prefer writing romance.
You said that she friends on.
She friends on my love.
See, friends on वाला concept बड़ा risky होता है. अभी आप लोगों में अच्छा again not about my type. मेरे type में भाई जॉन हो जाता था कि राखी बांधते इसको पीछे पड़ा हुआ राखी बांधते थे. बड़ा risky होता था. So name of your novels are quite interesting. See, Spy Right and Friends on Mile. ये जो नाम होते हैं, नाम जो है अपने आप में ही एक स्टोरी है. एक शॉर्ट स्टोरी तो आप उस नाम के ऊपर लिख सकते हो. So is it intentionally planned कि कुछ ऐसा इंटरेस्टिंग सा नाम होगा, या just by chance के लिखते लिखते रह गया कि इसका क्या बोल?
No, it is intentional, and I've said it many times that अगर मुझे एक नॉवेल लिखने में 3 साढ़े 3 महीने लगते हैं, तो मुझे टाइटल डिसाइड करने में भी उससे ज़्यादा 1 और 1.5 महीना लगता है. Initially it was that I'll keep the titles जिसमें सोशल मीडिया भी हाईलाइट हो रहा हो. So I continued that thing. I think I continued that thing till she's right into my heart, and then our story needs no filter also came in. But then right now I'm running out of apps. अब कोई ऐसा ऐप नहीं बचा जिसका मैं कुछ उठा लूं और कुछ टाइटल लिखूं. तो but then yeah, each and every time I feel that the title should be quirky, and at the same time it should reveal what the storyline is. I'm not someone who believes कि जो आपको portray करना है वो let the reader read it. I'm someone who will just give it out to you, and then you decide whether you want to read this thing or not.
I heard a different opinion from JLF. So he was like कि title ऐसा होना चाहिए कि थोड़ा सा idea लगे लेकिन थोड़ा सा समझ में ना आए कि होने वाला क्या है. So he gave example of Matches movie. Matches का थी movie के अंदर तो सिगरेट थोड़ी पी रहा था यार. Okay, okay. So any author who inspires you?
There are many. More than authors, it's the stories that really inspires me. And different authors, different stories, but then each writer has its own style. And that is something that I love to analyze whenever I am reading. For me, these days, reading is not just about enjoying the experience of reading. वो naturally अब आता ही है मेरे में. Whenever I read, I try to analyze कि ये कैसे लिखा हुआ है, किस तरीके से इसको climax दिया हुआ है, or whatever it is. But then I love that entire process, and whenever I'm reading, I try to find out like क्या दिमाग में चल रहा होगा, or probably whenever I complete reading a book, I give my take on it. Like, if I was supposed to write this one, then what will it be? So it's the stories that really inspire me. I've been reading many authors, but then, like I said, that I cannot just choose one who has really inspired me. I'll surely take that. But then I could have taken one name. The thing is, I never wanted to be a writer, and that is why there was no inspiration as such. जिसको मैं देखता था and I was like कि हाँ मुझे इसके जैसा बनना है or something of that sort. Nothing, because I never had any idea of how this entire publishing industry works. It was only after writing my first book. That's when I realized that yes, I love this entire process of writing, and writing is my passion. I had no idea how the book should be published. करीब करीब एक डेढ़ साल लगा था मुझे, उसके बाद वो बुक पब्लिश हुई, वो भी सिर्फ इस वजह से बिकॉज अब लिख ली है एंड आई लव द एंटायर प्रोसेस. दैट्स व्हाई आई थॉट दैट let's do it from a local publisher, but then luckily Srishti publishers approached, that happened. Then I was working with a corporate company till my three books released. It was only after three books that I decided that I'll take this as a full-time career. Otherwise I was working till then, so it wasn't something that was in my mind from very beginning.
So how easy it is to leave your full-time job and then coming into writing?
You should answer this because you have recently started this. So I have been the problem with India, I'll tell you very honestly, is there are more literature festivals than the full-time writers, and that is the saddest thing. It's like I don't know why. It is not easy, for sure. It is not easy, but that it isn't impossible also. Problem क्या है मैं बताता हूँ. When you write a book and when it gets published, you are shy to promote your own book. You think that मैं कैसे करूँ? Because it comes in our genes. We are never told to market something. And I have always believed that, no offense, but Lata Mangeshkar would have been a bigger star than Michael Jackson if she would have promoted herself in that way. And no doubt that she is a star. But then I'm talking about Michael Jackson. So, but then that's what I said, that it comes in our genes, that if you have written something and you're shy to promote it, how can I talk about this? लोग क्या सोचेंगे कि मैं अपने खुद के बारे में ये बोल रहा हूँ और वो बोल रहा हूँ. But then it's your book, it's your hard work, it's your social media, you have full right to talk about it. And you should talk about it. अगर आपके लिखे हुए बुक के बारे में अगर आप खुद नहीं बोलोगे तो कौन बात करेगा उसके बारे में? So that's the first thing. And that's why I feel that most of the writers लिख लेते, and होता ये है, the entire process is so draining. बुक लिखना, then getting a publisher, then उसके बाद पता लगता है कि अब तो मार्केटिंग भी करनी है. So somewhere there are these new writers who think अब बस, now if the book is published, my work is done, मुझे बस वो book पे अपना नाम दे दूंगा. That is not the thing. If writing is really your passion and if you want to take it full time nowadays, so there are different sources. It's not just about book writing these days. There is web series, there is so many other platforms where you can explore yourself. So you see, you should just keep on challenging yourself. That's what I believe. That will keep that passion igniting in you, and somewhere you'll not feel bored. Like, it's been like what, 10 years now that I'm writing. It's been 15 books. Like, still when a book releases, I still have those same goosebumps in me, same thing. It's like जैसे पहले होता था. मुझे आज भी लगता है कि क्या कोई ये किताब मेरी पढ़ेगा या नहीं पढ़ेगा. That's a different story that after 1 week I see the book on the number one on the Nelson list. But then I still have that same emotions when the book is released. That is only because I enjoy the process and it's passion.
I completely agree with you. I have been into publishing industry, and let me tell you, if anyone want to be an author in future, पब्लिशर के पास क्या होता है कि साल की 150 बुक्स होती हैं. एवरी मंथ 15 बुक्स वी आर पब्लिशिंग. सम ऑथर्स आर वेरी वेल सेलिंग, थोड़ा कम होगा, किसी का सब्जेक्ट बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होगा. सो मार्केटिंग टीम छोटी सी है ना, तो 5-6 पीपल दे डिसाइड अकॉर्डिंगली कि कितना टाइम इसको देना है, कितना बजट इस पे लगाना है. बट अगेन डिस्पाइट गिविंग योर टाइम, उनका लिमिटेशन है. दे विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू दैट, एंड दे हैव देयर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द बुक. बट द वे यू अंडरस्टैंड योर कंटेंट, you need to tell people for sure बताने का बेनिफिट होता है कि हाँ लोग बुरा मानते हैं कैसे हो गए यार, अपनी खुद की बात कर रहे हैं, कहने दो, हमने अच्छा नहीं लिखा ना, कोई बात नहीं, तो आप उसकी बुराई कर देंगे, नहीं बिकेगी। एक क्वेश्चन ये भी आता है कि बिकॉज ऑफ मार्केटिंग बुरी बुक्स बिक जाती हैं, दैट कैन keep coming to me in literature festivals. It doesn't happen actually. मार्केटिंग से आपकी बुक 1-2 महीना चल सकती है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं चलेगी जब तक पढ़ने वाला ये नहीं कहेगा कि आई लाइक दिस बुक, लोग नहीं खरीदते, उसके बाद खत्म हो जाता है वर्ड ऑफ माउथ। आप में से जहाँ आए हैं वो इनसे मिलने से आने में आपने बुक पढ़ी, आपको पसंद आए, तो ये जो चीज है सिर्फ अपनी बात को पहुंचाना बहुत जरूरी है और उनको लेके जाना चाहिए। एंड आई विल जस्ट ऐड ऑन सुदीप का जो आई जस्ट लेफ्ट माय जॉब, सो आई थिंक देयर आर टू वेज, ईदर इन द बिगिनिंग यू टेक दैट रिस्क, या फिर एक टाइम आता है जब मेरा बेटा 5th 6th 7th में आ गया है, तो आई कैन नॉट टेक दैट काइंड ऑफ रिस्क इमीडिएटली। I started preparing from past 5-6 years. I ensured that मेरे ऊपर कोई liability ना हो for my son next 3-4 years, उसका कोई issue ना हो, मेरे घर के किसी expense में ना हो। I managed those financially and then I decided कि मुझे अभी कर लेना चाहिए। At the same time I also got some projects, I got some screenplay to write, I got some audio series to write। तो वो जो चीजें हैं आपको अगर करना है तो you have to start planning from now, from today, so that in next 2-3-4-5 years you can take that step. So this is one the last thing I want to ask you, Steve. आपके पास एक ऐसे बहुत फोन आते होंगे, मेल आती होगी कि I have a story, I want to write। तो ये जो लिखने का फर्स्ट टाइम क्या होता है कि बहुत सबके पास एक स्टोरी होती है और इनमें से बहुत पास स्टोरी होगी which they want to share with the world. So how they should write? What are the things as a first time writer they should take care of?
The first thing that is needed is you have to be honest in your writing. Coming back to the point that we discussed in the beginning, and with that, I'm not saying that you need to be honest with your opinion. I'm saying that you need to be very honest in whatever you are portraying. If you believe it, then you can write it. You just don't need to think how market will react to it, what will readers think, because you need to understand that nowadays I see कि बहुत ऐसे नए राइटर्स हैं जो बहुत जल्दी डीमोटिवेट हो जाते हैं अगर उनको वो इंस्टाग्राम पे लाइक्स नहीं मिले या तो फेसबुक पे कमेंट्स नहीं मिले अपने राइटिंग पे। यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जो तुम्हारे 30,000 40,000 या 10,000 फॉलोअर्स है उसके बाहर भी एक दुनिया है। If Nawazuddin Siddiqui's work is appreciated in here, तो सलमान खान की भी मूवीज चलती है यहाँ पे, and there is an audience for each and every story out there. It's important to reach out to the right people and understand that which and who is your audience. And like I said, that if I'm writing romance, I cannot shy away from that. That no, I have to fit this thing in literature also. I cannot do that. If because I know that what is my target audience, and these are the people who are going to read me. This is the section. I will keep it very simple, and I'll think and write, keeping in mind how they react, how they talk, how they respond to a particular situation. I'll be very open about it and I'll write about it. I just not think कि नहीं अगर ये किसी और ने पढ़ा तो फिर कैसा लगेगा. You don't need to care about it. There will be a section who will love your books, there will be a section who will hate your books. That's completely fine. And you need to understand this thing. Whenever you are writing a story, the first thing is to accept this fact that there will be people out there who will criticize you. You need to focus on how you are going to improve. And if you believe that whatever you are writing is you have your thought process is this, then it is like this. Nobody can change it. Because, like I said, I tell you, when I was writing, she swiped right into my heart. वो thought मेरे दिमाग में आया था उस time पे, because I was writing about LGBT community, and I knew that there will be people who will be reading my books because it was my seventh book, and there were like millions of copies which have been sold before. So I knew that this book will be even read in the small towns. जहाँ पे लव मैरिज एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया जा रहा है, वहाँ पे मैं बात कर रहा हूँ इस बुक में एलजीबीटी कम्युनिटी के बारे में, तो हाउ विल पीपल रिएक्ट? तो इनिशियली मैं थोड़ा हेजिटेंट था कि क्या करूँ, कैसे करूँ, But then I thought that let's not think about it. I portray what are my views on it, and I'll sketch the characters accordingly. लोगों को पसंद है तो it's fine, else just move on, nothing else. And that's what I did, and the book did wonders. So you see, you have to be very honest about whatever your opinion is, whichever genre you are writing, be it romance, be it fiction, non-fiction, anything.
Be honest, that is the key. And I will just add on, if you are part of the story, खुद को बाहर निकाल के फिर देखो उसको, तो that works. So this was my last question. Any questions from the audience?
No, no. Thank you, sir.
आवाज बुलंद है.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, audience. My name is Anand Palyal. Sir, मेरे दो क्वेश्चन हैं. एक शायर के और एक राइटर के बीच में, मतलब दोनों में क्या डिफरेंस है?
नंबर ऑफ वर्ड्स का डिफरेंस है बस.
और सर सेकंड क्वेश्चन मेरा ऑडियंस की तरफ से है, जो मतलब ऑलमोस्ट हर तीसरे चौथे इंसान के मतलब सुनने में आता है कि किसी से मतलब दूर जाने के लिए किसी के करीब जाना पड़ता है, ऐसा कुछ इस पे कुछ कहना चाहेंगे सर?
मतलब कैसे हो सकता है ये? सबसे पहले तो ये बताओ, पहले तो दूर ही नहीं जा पा रहे हैं इंसान, दूसरे के करीब उसके पहले कैसे निकलेगा? दैट इज बैकअप. ये कोई मतलब तुम्हारा डेटा बैकअप थोड़ी ना है कि इधर से लेके नॉट हैपन. ड्यूरिंग टाइम एक रिलेशनशिप खत्म हो रही है तो उससे बाहर निकलने के लिए यू नीड टाइम. यू कैन नॉट जस्ट हैव अ बैकअप कि मतलब वहां पे लगा दो. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता, बिकॉज अदरवाइज आप 100% ना इधर दिए ना इधर दिए. डजंट मेक सेंस.
थैंक यू सर.
एक और चीज हो जाती है, जब दूर जाना है ना, शायर क्या करता है, उसको रोमांटिसाइज करता है, बड़ा सुंदर सा बना देगा. राइटर बताएगा कि हमें दर्द होता है. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I can ask you this question since you write love stories and romance. So, is it okay to go back to your ex?
अगर इतना चैलेंजिंग लाइफ जीना है तो
Of course, I mean.
it is not easy. You see, it's like if you feel कि जो प्रॉब्लम्स की वजह से वो एक्स बनी है वो वापस नहीं होने वाली, then it's fine. Otherwise, because you are a human, you will obviously have the same thoughts again and again. If you are not secure in a relationship, then how is it going to work? So that is the thing. अगर खतरों के खिलाड़ी बनना है तो बन लो.
If I want to make things right, then.
But it's not just up to you, right? It's up to the other person also. If both of you can agree on it, आप तो फिर से रिलेशनशिप में जाने की बात कर रहे हो. लोग दोस्त भी नहीं बन पाते हैं. तो it's not easy. मतलब like I said, that if you both agree and you both decide that we will move on whatever happened in the past and we will live a new life, then it's fine. लेकिन जितना लिखने बोलने के लिए आसान है उतना करने के लिए तो है नहीं.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Yes.
सर इंडिया में लव कल्चर एक्सेप्ट क्यों नहीं होता और ये कब तक होगा?
नहीं होता ये तो पता है काफी शहरों पे, और कब तक नहीं होगा वो अपने ऊपर है कि हम आगे क्या करेंगे, उसके ऊपर है. सो लाइक आई हैड अ लव मैरिज एंड आवर पेरेंट्स हैड एब्सोल्युटली नो प्रॉब्लम. पहले लगा था कि बहुत दिक्कतें होगी, ये होगी वो होगी, बट कुछ हुआ ही नहीं. एंड एज अ राइटर आई वांटेड दैट ड्रामा कि कुछ तो लिखूं, किसी को तो कुछ मैं उंगली करूं कि कोई तो कुछ करे, बट nobody did anything. So it totally depends upon us how we as a society want to treat it, because it's completely fine. And like I said, that love marriage, there is absolutely no problem. In fact, it's much better because you know that person already rather than knowing the person later. Arranged marriage has its own benefits. Love marriage has its own benefits. So totally fine.
Any last question? नहीं है? Okay, so thank you very much. You guys were nice, and I hope you enjoyed the session. अगर आपको नहीं भी पसंद आया है तो ये बात अंदर है, नीचे बाहर जाके आपको बोलना दो बहुत डैशिंग बंदे आए थे, क्या वादे की बना, तो बस बाहर से बस अच्छा.
Thank you so much.
At the outset, I would like to thank Mr Sudeep Nagarkar and Mr Naveed Chaudhary for joining us today. We wish we get to hear you both again and be equally enlightened as we all are this evening. And my dear massive audience, I am sure that after witnessing this conversation, you are all taking home an enriched perspective with you today, just as I am. Thank you for joining us. Until I see you again. This is Anchal Bhatia signing off. And audience, please stay back for the next last session of this call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, just a moment.
Vision beyond.